Welcome back to the Brand Battle on Discover the Mysteries channel. If last time we talked about the most exciting rivalry in the history of the automotive industry between Lamborghini and Ferrari, today I will tell you about the race between Nike and Adidas. It is often compared to the competition for the dominance of the Greek god's temple between Zeus and Poseidon. And if you know that Nike is the name of the ancient Greek goddess of victory, then you can guess what the founders had in mind. For nearly 6 decades, Nike and Adidas have competed for every piece of the pie in the sports apparel industry to dominate this over $310 billion market. However, few know that these two legendary sneaker brands had very different beginnings than their current competitive situation. Both were born out of the love and passion of their founders to improve the performance of athletes by enhancing the quality of footwear. The story goes that Adidas used to be much stronger than its rival. Adidas started from the home of the founder Adolf Dassler's parents in Germany. In 1924, Adolf's brother, Rudolf Dassler, joined him and together they established the Dassler Brothers shoe factory. The first turning point for the family startup was the development of spiked shoes to serve athletes. Adolf convinced American sprinter Jesse Owens to wear his handmade spiked shoes at the 1936 Summer Olympics, where Owens set a record with 4 gold medals. Since then, athletes all over Europe have chosen Adidas footwear. However, in 1949, Rudolf split off to establish Puma, an event that sparked fierce competition. Nike, on the other hand, was a latecomer, founded by Bill Bowerman and Phil Knight in 1964 under the name Blue Ribbon Sports before officially changing its name to Nike in 1971. Initially, the company specialized in importing shoes from Japan into the US market, but they saw an opportunity in the running boom that emerged in the late 1960s and 1970s and began experimenting with designing and producing their own shoes. Their first shoe was designed for athlete Otis David, who later won 2 gold medals at the 1960 Summer Olympics. By 1971, Blue Ribbon Sports stopped working with Japan and released their first product line called Swoosh, which is now a well-known Nike logo. Initially, both brands developed at a steady pace without interfering with each other's market. Adidas grew rapidly in Western Europe thanks to its headquarters in Germany, while Nike mainly dominated the North American market due to its US headquarters. But if they wanted to expand into the vast world outside, sooner or later the two sides would have to collide. Adidas has always been the most recognized brand in Europe, but it cannot be denied that North America is the world's largest athletic shoe market. The German giant bravely advanced with the intention of conquering North America, but little did they know that there was a tiger named Nike waiting for them. With the home advantage, Nike owned nearly 60% of the athletic shoe market in North America. At times, Nike's sneakers became a part of American popular culture that no rival could buy with money. Both brands have a strong presence in the market, a large number of loyal customers with some legendary shoe models, and many things to assert their positions. Most importantly, no one wants to be behind their competitors, even if it's just a small step. After launching their first product line, Nike's success was remarkable. The following year's sales doubled, prompting Nike to sign their first sponsorship deal with tennis star Ilie Nastase. In 1977, the company launched an ad campaign called "There Is No Finish Line" to convey the excitement that any runner pursued, reflecting the company's vision for inspiration and innovation. The advertising campaign immediately made a strong impression, showing that instead of emphasizing the sports aspect, Nike focused on the consumer and declared that they were selling more than just shoes. However, during these years, Nike was still lagging behind Adidas. The Big Bang occurred in 1984 when Nike made a splash by partnering with basketball legend Michael Jordan to launch the Air Jordan shoe line. At that time, Nike had difficulty reshaping itself as a brand for sports stars, and Jordan initially wanted to work with Adidas. Nike offered to pay Michael $500,000 in cash per year for 5 years. Finally, the basketball star agreed to sign a contract, and when Jordan wore the Airs on the court, basketball fans and hip-hop enthusiasts went crazy. This spectacular transformation helped Nike stand out and have a unique personality compared to many other brands when it declared its mission to inspire and innovate for everyone. Nike seemed to want to become a hero, to challenge what was available, to become better. That was a very athletic attitude. By the time Nike launched the "Just Do It" campaign in 1988, the company's revenue had exceeded $1.2 billion. The famous slogan spoke to Nike's style of being daring, fiercely competitive, and direct. The company was not afraid to make bold statements that even sparked controversy in its advertising campaigns, choosing to confront directly instead of compromising. Athletes such as Wayne Rooney at their peak of excellence were chosen by Nike to collaborate. When the brand message began to resonate globally, Nike started to dominate the market both domestically and internationally. The company has proven that it's all about money by continuously releasing blockbuster deals. Try to check out some of Nike's sponsorship deals. 1. Michael Jordan, basketball star, $130 million. 2. Serena Williams, tennis star, $20 million. 3. LeBron James, basketball star, $54 million. 4. Roger Federer, tennis star, $60 million. 5. Kevin Durant, basketball star, $36 million. 6. Tiger Woods, golf star, $45 million. 7. Kobe Bryant, basketball star, $25 million. And of course, there is Cristiano Ronaldo with a lifetime deal worth $1 billion. The wealthy man doesn't hesitate to spend $8 million a day to promote and increase the brand's power. In other words, Nike invests nearly $100 per second in marketing. And what about Adidas' strategy? The keyword for Adidas is perhaps lifestyle. They don't need to be seen as heroes, but instead focus on lifestyle, which is reflected in the list of people they sponsor and collaborate with. Nowadays, Adidas often collaborates with non-athletes, such as musicians, artists, creators, or similar. This approach is now quite normal, but it was still a novelty in the mid-1980s. Do you remember the superstar basketball sneakers that quickly spread in the street fashion scene after being worn by the hip-hop group Run DMC? They even wrote a song called My Adidas, which became the foundation for Adidas to shape its identity for many decades to come. Although the company still maintains relationships with some teams and soccer tournaments worldwide, Adidas is still weaker in marketing compared to Nike. Instead of playing the blockbuster game, Adidas chooses to save and focus on large-scale events. In 2015, the company launched the Sport 15 campaign, with a huge investment compared to previous campaigns. More than twice, Impossible in Nothing, 3 times, All In or Nothing, and 4 times, World Cup 2014. But it's still not enough. Nike has risen to the top of the food chain with founder Phil Knight's slogan, "Develop or Die," and continues to push the company forward like a rocket. The time when Adidas was closest to Nike was probably from 2001 to 2004, when revenue differed by only a few $100 million. But by 2005, Nike developed like a storm after founder Phil Knight stepped down as CEO with $16 billion in revenue, while Adidas was only $11 billion. New hope came to the three-stripe brand in 2015 from rapper Kanye West. In the past, West was owned by Nike, but the two sides could not cooperate when the rapper claimed that Nike had stifled creativity, did not pay enough money, and did not consider him a designer. A few years ago, it seemed like Adidas was still challenging Nike with the hope of regaining the title of the world's largest sports manufacturer. Under CEO Kasper Rorsted, who took office in October 2016, Adidas revenue skyrocketed by 30% in just the first 3 years. However, nowadays Adidas seems to have been left far behind. In the fourth quarter of 2002, the company reported a loss of more than $800 million, while Nike reported quarterly revenue of $12 billion, double that of Adidas. The market value of the Adidas brand has dropped to $28 billion, only 1/7 of Nike's. On the investor scale, Adidas reluctantly stands below Puma. Inflation, business operations in Russia were affected, and last October, Adidas had to cut ties with Ye due to a scandalous anti-Semitic comment, which means millions of Yeezy shoes worth $1.3 million are still in the warehouse. If they can't solve this inventory problem, Adidas could lose $800 million by the end of the year. But let's not say who wins or loses. Nike positions itself as a sports apparel brand, while Adidas focuses on streetwear lifestyle. Nike bets on marketing messages that revolve around social responsibility, sometimes putting the company in the spotlight of controversy, while Adidas emphasizes its environmental sustainability and brand DNA. Nike still dominates the North American market, while Adidas shifts its focus to Asia. In the years to come, Nike will surely continue to lead Adidas in revenue and scale. But both companies have completely different approaches, and consumer tastes are always changing, and no one has a monopoly on consumer culture. Therefore, to talk about this fierce marathon, let's use the classic quote from the first track and field athlete to sign a contract with Nike. "Somebody may beat me, but they are going to have to bleed to do it." And that's a brief summary of the battle between the American rich man Nike and the German pride Adidas. Which side are you on, Nike or Adidas? Please let me know your opinion in the comments section below, as well as suggest any topics you would like to see next. Now, goodbye and see you again.